Hey everybody, sorry it's been a few weeks since my last post. I got really sick. Thought it was, well, the virus, but I got tested and came out negative. And then life kind of got in the way. But anyway, where were we? 2005. Continuing my saga of working Knott's Scary Farm as a monster. That was a weird year. Because instead of doing the whole camping out, coming back as a rehire, since I missed the 1 year in 04, I had to go through the hiring process as a new hire again. Just to get in the door. I mean, once I was back, I got all my veteran, as they call it, since I've been there, incentives, because every year you get incentives that you come back. Like free merchandise and free tickets to the park and whatnot, or during the regular year. Anyway, so come back in 05, but that was weird. So I went through the application process as a normal new hire. They do background checks to make sure you're not a creep, and a felon, whatever. Anyway, for some reason my background check paperwork got put on the bottom of the pile. It was just a clerical error, so it didn't get sent in when it should have. So for some reason, when they finally got it in and it came back that I'm clear, they had no open spots. So they had me put it as an on-call, which, someone didn't show up, someone quits, they called me. And since I had my fair share of, not fair share, they pretty much gave me my choice of mazes to be on call for. And I've always been in love with vampires and that kind of thing, and there's been a vampire maze there for years. And I knew that there was only a few years left of the vampire maze that was there at the time in its current incarnation. So I decided to go for that one. It was called Lore of the Vampire. It used to be Gothic Graveyard, then they changed it to Lore. I think it was Lair of the Vampire for a little bit, and then they changed it to Lore. I may have the order wrong for the other two names, but when I was there, it was Lore. So, about a weekend, they call me after they'd already started the season. And, sorry I'm scruffy and everything. And just, like I said, life's been hectic and whatnot. Anyway, I guess one of the other talent had to go take care of her mother out of state. At least that's what I was told. I don't know. But anyway, so they get me in, get me fitted for the costume. Very simple. It was a red t-shirt, black pants, black trench coat, weird green skeleton kind of zombie mask. I was a freshly dug up vampire, so not a pretty one. Anyway, we had all kinds of different vampire, like hell priests, pretty gothic vampires, Lost Boy type vampires, but not like the movie. They were like these weird tribal, like with a head tattoo and like a top knot kind of braid thing coming down. Morning vampires, like MOURNING, morning, like in morning. I think that was it, if I read the call sheet right. That was 2005. It's been a while. It's been almost 20 years. But they were kind of also a zombie vampire kind of hybrid looking thing. We had a vampire queen and vampire brides. Had some weird vampires like bat ears, look like more of a bat feature head kind of thing, masks. So it was the whole spectrum, not just your traditional gothic, pretty vampires, which we had. So you walk into a graveyard, and you have like the priest, the hell priest, whatever, kind of welcoming you in, and that was cool. And then you go up to this chamber room from the graveyard with vampire brides, and then the vampire queen in her coffin. The vampire queen, the main one, there was two. There was the main one, and there was her breaker. The main one, her name was Sandy. Gorgeous woman, inside and out. Such a lovely lady. She was and is still our queen, even though sadly she passed on several years ago. But we still tribute to her all the time, even those who never met her, like who came in after her. They've all heard the stories about her, and everyone still pays tribute to her. She was the most. It was because of her that I got into that maze in the first place. Aside from being the on-call and whatever, because I would talk to her all the time. The last how many years, and she, thought I would be a good fit, and I eventually got over there. Also, this guy, he was actually one of the brides. He made a very, very, very pretty woman. The first time I saw him in drag, I thought he was a woman. I was like, hey, he's cute. And then I'm like, oh, oops. It happens. Anyway. Nothing wrong with any of that. My preference is women. But tons of my friends, that whole thing. I'm very open-minded, so don't think I'm bashing on any of that. So anyway, because of him and the queen, Sandy, they're the ones that really kind of talked me into that maze. And I still talk to him occasionally. We're still friends. Anyway, you get through there, and then you get through this like bridge area with a. It's not really a bridge; it just looks like a bridge. With like foliage, like all hanging down, and lots of leaves, vines. And that's where the morning vampires were at. And then you got through this room with a stage and a beautiful female vampire dancing with like ropes hanging down, so you do like whole like rope spins and that kind of cool stuff. The song Face to Face from City of the Banshees was playing in that room all around the loop, and it was great. The maze had a great soundtrack. Mostly was just eerie, like some Dead Can Dance music, I believe, and also, what's her name? sorry, again, it's completely unedited, so if I get lost in thought or can't remember something, I can use my phone and look it up. Sorry, I'm looking at the band. Midnight Syndicate. Their music. Okay, make sure my phone is actually charging. So yeah, it's all like ambient kind of music playing through, and it was really cool. Love. I still listen to that stuff to this day. When I'm in the mood. And then you go through this weird, like, horror vampire movie where, like, you have bodies up on the wall and, you know, kind of mutilated. And, vampire monks kind of thing. Because you have the priests in the beginning, they have, like, little, like, monks and, like, they're vampire monks type thing. And, no, that was... Then there was a room with, like, an old, like, harpsichord organ type thing. I think it was harpsichord. And it was like a very Anne Rice type Interview with the Vampire-esque, you know, gothic 1800s type setting. With the very pretty lacy vampires and that kind of thing. Actually, I think that was first, and then you had the room with the hanging bodies and the more gory stuff. And then we had a room. There was a hallway that... No, that'll be next video. Sorry. No, not this video. And there was a couple of hallways that you walk through that had talent in it, but it wasn't that big a deal. I have a big reveal coming up about later on in that season. That's something cool that happened to me that I'm still trying to get a photo of, but I doubt I'll ever get it. Sorry, something off the side was catching my eye. First daytime video, so shadows and stuff. Anywho, then there was a vampire club. Took the theme from that opening theme from the Blade movie when they're in the vampire goth club with the guy gets lured in. If you haven't seen Blade, watch it. Just saying. And that was kind of my area. And then towards the end, it was like just this. I was kind of there, and then I was at the end, which was like just this like exit walk area that finally led outside, and then there was, a couple of us outside. We had more of an area. We had more of an open area to run around and get good scares and stuff in. And then we had a guy. He's a big guy. Like, well, I'm big, but this guy was big. Unfortunately, he's passed on as well. He was 6'5", 6'7", really tall and way bigger, like huge. I'm 6'1", and I'm upper 300s pounds. I know I'm not healthy. I'm trying to get back into shape. The virus hit, lockdown hit. I was out of work for almost a year. Kind of got lazy. Nothing but Netflix and burritos. LOL. Oh God, I said LOL. Sorry. Yeah, I'm a nerd. Whatever. Anyway, sorry. So yeah. Anyway, and he had this attachment that made him even like 12 feet tall, like this shoulder pad thing with a big head above his head, and he would lean down, and that was more of just a walk forward, lean down, kind of get people to freak out before they ran down the stairs to the street area of the park again. But yeah, that year was cool. I believe that's the year I was coming back from break, and I walked through one of the curtain areas from like behind the scenes to come onto stage, and Cher walked by. Yes, the Cher. And because celebrities come to sing all the time, that's my other big reveal here in a minute. I've met Ozzy, I've met Rob Zombie, his brother Spider, Cher, by scaring her. I didn't actually meet her, but I made her jump. Because I came out behind a curtain, she walked by, and what are you going to do? Jump, of course. The cast of the OC, when that was on the air, that's later on. That was in 07. When I said Ozzy, I met his family. I met Sharon, and the kids when they were still little. Not little, but younger. So throughout the years, I met a good amount of celebrities. Neil Patrick Harris. He goes every year. He's a big fan. There's actually a book that one of my friends wrote. It's a pictorial history of the event. Actually, I have it right here. Give me a second. It's a little messed up. I've been through a lot, but there's actually a revised version. But this version here, the foreword was written by Neil Patrick Harris. I'm not in the book, unfortunately. No pictures of me and my characters for some reason. But they did a revised version that's been released this year. Been trying to get a copy of that because it's updated. Because this only goes up until 2011, I believe. Yeah, because it came out in 2012. So, yeah, there's an updated version of this book I'm going to try and get a copy of. Hopefully. And they might have updated and put new pictures in for even the older years, that are covered in this version. But I need to fix that. The cover's bent. I'll have to have a little bit. But anyway, but yeah, several celebrities have come through. I've met a whole handful. My favorite interaction was the one I'm about to tell you about. I'm on break. Our break area was actually not anywhere in the maze. It was actually across the street zone, scare zone area in that part of the park. It was in the Camp Snoopy area of the park. The park is divided up into several zones. There's the Ghost Town area, it's an old West Ghost Town theme park anyway in the beginning. So you have your Ghost Town, you have your Bigfoot area, you have a Roaring Twenties area, a carnival type area. That kind of goes with the Roaring Twenties. They kind of could combine with the Roaring Twenties and carnival area. We have a Central Southern California park. We have a Fiesta Village, Hispanic heritage type area, themed. There's Camp Snoopy, and there's a wagon camp and a Silver Bullet area because there's a ride called Silver Bullet. That's kind of part. Well, that part is kind of where the Fiesta Village and Ghost Town kind of meet. It's just its own. It ended up becoming its own little area. That, whatever. Anyway, and each of those areas would get themed. So for the most part. Ghost Town becomes a ghost town. Fiesta Village becomes, well, up until recently, it really didn't have. It was kind of mixed with the Camp Snoopy area and had its own. It was called the Gauntlet, medieval themed scare zone with fantasy creatures and all this kind of thing. Knights and like mythical beasts and whatnot. Well, like I said, the area, and then that middle area, kind of between where Fiesta Village and Ghost Town meet. For a while, it was a scare zone called the Swamp, and then it didn't have it, and then it became Silver Bullet Mining Town for a little bit, and now it's something called Forbidden Lake. I haven't been in a couple years because, yeah, I live out kind of far from the park now, so I don't get out there as often. And then the big area for a while was its own little scare zone, but they got rid of that, so that's the only safe space really in the park. Roaring 20s, I'm called Roaring 20s. The Carnival area is Carnival, because they used to be maze. Well, I'll go to that right now. There used to be a clown maze called Carnival for diverse clowns. That was fun. Anyway, so back to anyways, there's a restaurant dining area in the Camp Snoopy area of the park called, well, it was called Lucy's Lunchbox. Lucy from Charlie Brown. Anyway, I need to get a more sturdy table for my laptop. But anyway, the upstairs area was blocked off for us, and then it was split in half. Half of it was for the Camp Spooky, as they called it, for that time of year, or the Gauntlet, as they called it, for their talent, and their half was for us. Well, I'm on break, having a smoke. I know, bad habit, whatever. This is 2005. Anyway, someone tells me Hugh Hefner's coming in the maze right now. Like, he's in line, he's about to enter. I had a minute left my break. I said, screw it. I throw my mask back on, I run downstairs, I get in position, tell my breaker to go ahead and go do his, break his next person. I see the entourage coming towards me. Hugh gets right in front of me. We're not supposed to touch people, but it's a celebrity. He walks up to me. I kind of get to him, I lean into him, I kind of grab his shoulder. I'm like, Hugh, you're my hero. You know, obviously you couldn't see my face because I was I had a mask on, but, you know, sometimes you forget you have a mask on, and you try and make your normal facial features behind it, thinking they'll see it, and obviously they don't. Anyway, he kind of grabbed me and gave me a side hug. He was like, see, even the undead love me. And he had his people take a picture with me. And for almost 20 years, I've been writing to the Playboy people, trying to see if they can give me a copy of that picture, but I even sent them a picture of the mask I was wearing so it helped them, find it easier. But again, that was almost 20 years ago. There's probably no way I'm going to get it. I didn't have a camera phone at the time, so that wasn't going to happen. That was the days of the old flip phones, and the one I had didn't have a camera. Excuse me. So anyway, that was really cool. But yeah, that was a good year though. I got nervous because the last week or so, sorry, my back is hurting a little bit. the person that I was replacing, because I was on call, came back. But they let me stay. They're like, no, you're here, you can stay, you're good. We'll just, because her character was supposed to be in the front of the maze, and she had a completely different costume than I had. She had like a different mask. She had like a yellowish like vest with like a tuxedo shirt type thing on, like costume. So yeah, it was a completely different character. My costume, except for the mask, was pretty much the same as the Lost Boy costume, almost. They had a couple different versions of the costume, but mine fit more with them. So, and she was supposed to be more front of the maze. My costume fit more back of the maze, but because I was covering for the talent that was missing at the time, I actually had, even though I was supposed to be in the back of the maze, technically, I had full range. I could go anywhere. Because I was supposed to be covering the front and the back. So, I may not have fit everywhere neck down wise, but mask wise, it kind of I could fit pretty much anywhere. I mean, even like neck down, I kind of fit in the gothic, section or whatever. I also believe that was the year a cute blonde groped me, and because I did my whole snarl in the ear thing, kind of saw a cute girl, didn't realize who it was at first. Use that in a second. Saw she was cute, snot in her ear. She kind of, ooh, God, some women get turned on by it, whatever. She ended up groping me inappropriately. I didn't care at the time, I was young. And kind of was like, ooh, baby, kind of thing, whatever. The next year, not 12 months, but early in the next year, 2006, I'm at a friend's house. Some old high school friends were there, and this one girl was there. She's blonde, mine, and I was wearing my incentive Halloween Haunt t-shirt that employees got every year. I might even have my hat on, I don't know, so we get hats. First year you get a red hat, just rookie on the back and a Halloween Haunt in the front. Every year after that you get a black hat that has Halloween Haunt in the front, and then the back's just veteran. And then the only thing that changes on the black ones is the color of the color of the words. The red hat is always black writing or embroidering, whatever. Anyways, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were at Haunt." I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, where at?" I'm like, "Well, what year? When did you go this last year?" She's like, "Yeah." I told her it was a vampire maze, and she's like, "You were?" "Yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, by then I had gotten a phone. No. Yeah, by then I had gotten a phone and could get pictures and whatnot. Someone sent me a picture of my costume, and I had it on my phone. And I showed her. She's like, she turned bright red. And I'm like, "What's the matter?" She's like, "Remember a cute blonde that you snot her ear?" And she got, I'm like, that was hilarious, because we never saw each other like that, ever. Still don't. We're still friends, but we never saw each other like that at all. And, so it's kind of funny. I doubt she remembers any of this now, but, I just have a good memory for funny things like that. So yeah, that was kind of funny. But yeah, that's it for 05. I'll come back to next week, or maybe even sooner. Kind of got you caught up here for 06. and then 07, obviously. And that'll end the saga after 07. Then I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. I guess I talk about the years that I won as a guest after that. I can talk about my year I lived in Minnesota. That was directly pretty much right after I ended my last year, I moved out to Minnesota. I'll talk about that. So we'll shift gears here a little bit in a couple weeks, but yeah. Anyways, till then, hit all the buttons, do the thing. God, I said I'd never say that if I ever started a YouTube channel, but I guess it's kind of comes with territory. Love you all. Have a good day, night, wherever you're at. Please, if you have ideas for where I should go next, leave comments, let me know. If you want more short form videos, let me know. Give me topics. If I'm knowledgeable in those topics, I'll make videos. If not, I'll let you know. I do check comments every couple days. Haven't had many yet, so yeah. Anyway, sorry. I guess this is it for today. My birthday was earlier this month, by the way. On the 6th. So I'm 42 now. I am the answer to life, universe, and everything. If you get that, you're cool. You're a nerd like me. Anyway, alrighty. Have a good one. See you in a week, maybe sooner. Never know. I'll try not to let it be 3 weeks again, or however long it's been. But yeah, have a good one. Again, love you all. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Bye.